and the influence it's had on my life and my college career, I honestly didn't really know where to begin or what I wanted to tell you guys. And it's not because I didn't know my involvement history. In fact, I should know it better than anyone else. It honestly really had nothing to do with that. It was more along the lines of I didn't know what message I wanted to share with you today. And so I decided to go back from day one and basically come up with a few different pieces of advice. And the things that I came up with, I'm going to share with you, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form, they impact you in basically any way. So basically, how I'm going to start is I'm going to talk to you guys about a special person in my life. And before I do that, I'm going to ask you guys to come up with somebody in your mind that has really impacted you and served as a role model in some way, shape, or form. It can be a parent, it can be a sibling, it can be a close friend from home, or it can be a professor. Basically anybody. But I want you to keep that person in your mind as I speak to you today. You might be asking who that person is in my life. Well, meet my older sister. Her name is Jesslyn. She actually just graduated from Bridgewater State University in May. And she's actually going on to attend the University of South Carolina to basically begin her dream career in student affairs. And I bring up my sister for a few different reasons. The first is from day one. We've been a year and a half apart, and she's always been that role model or person in my life that I've always looked up to. She has always been the one that got good grades. She's the one that got involved with campus right away. And she's always been that person that has always known what to do and when to do it. Now, I'm a little bit different than my sister. For those of you who may know me, I'm a little bit on the sillier side. And I have one picture that kind of really embodies everything that I stand for. Where is it? Right there. This is a photo of me. Most of you guys will look at this picture and you won't understand it. And that's okay, because when I look at it, I don't understand it either. I've always been the one that's a little bit on the sillier side, the one that people really have a hard time taking seriously. And for a while, I was totally okay with that. That was something that I was used to, and that was something that I accepted. But I'm going to go back one more. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about leadership, and why I think it's important. My sister was always that person that was that leader on campus. She was that one that when she walked across Bridgewater State University campus, you knew who she was. You took notice, and that was something that I've always wanted to be. And when I look at some of these different characteristics, I think of my sister. When I see achieve, when I see goals, when I see organization, vision, and power, those all remind me of her. And it's not that I didn't think that I had these characteristics. I knew that I had them, but like I said, I had a few that really overshadowed them. So for example, some other things you should know about me is I'm incredibly disorganized. You can probably guess which side of the room is mine. And yes, I don't know what happened in this picture. But that gives you a good idea of the kind of person that I am. Some other things you should know is that I'm a little odd. I'm a little out there, and half of these pictures were taken alone. Am I proud of that? I'm not sure. But it definitely describes the type of personality that I have. When I do things, I honestly don't know why I do them. I just do them because I think they're fun, and I think they're hysterical. So I guess you could just say that I'm a little out there. And you could kind of see how coming into college, it was really hard for me to really make that impact as a leader. I never really saw myself as someone that people could follow. Because if for some reason they were to follow somebody like me, this might happen. I could let them down. I might not live up to my own potential, and I might not basically reach the standard that I had set for myself. And that absolutely terrified me. That was not something I was interested in doing, and putting myself out there really gave me that fear. So what was I going to do? Coming into college, I really wanted to make that difference, and I wanted to make that step into becoming the leader that I've always wanted to be. So I decided that I was going to do something special. I decided that I was going to go to a D1 school, not because I loved the school or that it was the absolute 100% place for me, but because I wanted to shock people. I wanted to do something that was just a little bit different. My entire family had gone to state schools that were relatively close to home, and for me, I thought the solution was to just go out there and shock people, and do something that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, and to do something that people talked about. Unfortunately, things didn't always go according to plan. I realized that money was an issue, and that wasn't something that I was able to do at this point in my life. and I decided to go to Bridgewater State University. Now, I was kind of thrown off. It was not my plan. It was not where I saw myself, and in all honesty, I was upset. Because I knew, coming into school where my sister had been, I had basically huge shoes to fill. I was going to be in her shadow, and I really wanted to figure out how I could make my own identity. And I didn't know how to do that. Again, I had huge shoes to fill, and I wasn't really sure that I was capable of achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. And I realized that a lot of the reasons why I wasn't able to achieve these things was because of my own attitude, and it was because of my own outlook on life. And it actually took me up until probably, I would say about a week ago, to realize why I was so afraid. And the reason that I figured it out, during orientation, we were sitting through a training session, and they showed us a TED Talks, kind of like the one that you guys saw today. And this TED Talks was by a man by the name of Drew Dudley, and what he talked about was everyday leadership, and how we see leadership in society. And what he basically said was society today looks at leadership as something that's larger than life. They look at it as ways that you might not be capable of doing it because you have to change the world if you're going to be a leader. Did I think I could change the world? Absolutely not. So we put leadership on this pedestal that's not obtainable. And I realized that we have to change the way that we view leadership. And the way that we can change it is by looking at it as everyday thing. By changing someone's life, that's everyday leadership. And by changing my opinion, I really started to get involved. I began to really seek out my opportunities. And I actually joined a sorority within my first year of coming to campus. And this sorority did a lot of things for me. It changed my outlook. It began to push me towards leadership. And I wasn't sure if I knew what my potential actually was until I joined. I began to take on different opportunities. So my first position in my sorority was social chair, because I realized that my strength is connecting with other people. My strength is not math. My strength is not organizing, but I do like to connect. And so for me, I figured out that this was a position that I could excel in and I could make a difference in. That leads me to my first executive board position. I ran for an executive board position and got co-director of recruitment. And that was really exciting for me because that was not something that I ever thought I could do. It was a position that required a lot of responsibility, and it really pushed me to basically be my best self and to put my best foot forward. I began to go to leadership conferences to really figure out what kind of leadership I wanted to be and how I could go about doing it. So I wanted to better myself. And I really wanted to push myself so that I could do the things that I wasn't strong in, and basically fix those areas that I needed work in. And then I became an orientation leader. I've been an orientation leader for the past 3 summers. And it's something that I really, really enjoy because, again, I like to connect. And honestly, orientation is the one way that I'm able to do that pretty much every day in the summer. And last but not least, I want to leave you guys with a few pieces of information, a few pieces of advice that I hope are really going to help you guys when you get to college in the fall. And the first one, I think it's probably one of the most important things that you can ever do. And I want you guys to surround yourself with the people that are only going to lift you higher. So please, don't surround yourself with the people that are going to tear you down. Think about those people that I brought in the beginning and basically how they make you be the best version of yourself. Because if you surround yourself with people that really aren't going to value you as a human and don't share the same things that you do, you're not going to be happy and you're not going to be successful. So I really challenge you to step out of your comfort zone and meet these people that are going to change your life, because they're going to push you to do your best. One last piece of information, and this is kind of the thing that I really learned throughout my entire college experience, is that success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And I say this for a few reasons. One, I spent the first half of my college career trying to be somebody that I wasn't. I tried being my sister, somebody who is completely unlike me. And it's not because she's not a great person, she is. But that's not me. Nobody does yourself better than you. So when you look at your involvements, do things that you are really proud of. Do things that you value. Because it's going to make a difference, and it's going to be the reason why you stay at Bridgewater State. So again, I want you guys to think of that person. Think about the person who you want to be, and really consider that when you go through your college career. And again, I just want to leave you with one final thing, and that's just to make your mark. Find the thing that makes you you, and go for it. I hope that what you guys learned today, you really value and you take into account. I really enjoyed speaking to you guys today, and I hope that you guys get to listen to all these other orientation leaders that have a lot to share and have a lot to offer. So I hope you guys have a great time at the rest of your orientation, and good luck in the fall.